Welcome to the lesson on customizing your price book. Now what you see on screen is a list of video topics that you may want to review in this order depending on the price book that you currently have. If you received a price book from Cobra, a pre-built one, it should already be organized and ready for you to make the mass changes to it that you're going to see today. Otherwise, if you're creating a price book from a supplier update file, then you want to review topic 1 on how to do that. Second of all, you want to print out your price book so you can review this topic on how to do that. Because then with the actual physical printout, you can write in the changes that you want to make for different groups of items. Number 3, the topic on arranging the price book allows you to customize the price book by getting product groups and recall names in there very, very quickly. So do review that topic. Then number 4, you can also begin making mass changes to your price book once the price book has been arranged. So you want to review the topic called Changes by Product Groups that walks you through how to get markups in the price book and make other mass changes to it. Now once that's done, we can actually work in the price book and get down to a more item by item level. So I've got the price book center up on my screen, and I accessed it in JobMaster Pro by clicking on the price book center button. When we're in the price book center, we do have access to different items in the price book. So once we have our product groups in there, we can actually get down to the list of items within a product group or within a recall name very simply and do further customization. If you don't know your product groups, you can click into the product group lookup button, the same with the recall names, and maybe bring up recall by recall name, the different recall names that exist in your price book. And once you have a product group or a recall name displayed on the screen, you can simply press F5 to get a list of all of the same items that have the same recall name, I should say, in your price book. And then at this point, we can take customization down to the last level, and that is being able to customize down on a very item by item basis. So, for example, I've got breakers on the screen, all the items in the price book that have breaker as a recall name. So at this point, I can do multiple functions at the same time for selected groups of items. So maybe I want to take this group of items, and I highlighted them by clicking on the first item and then hit the shift button on your keyboard and clicking the last item. Maybe all of these items I want to have a different recall name, or maybe I want to mark those guys up separately from the rest of the items within that recall name. So by using these different update options, I can perform more than one set of updates just to this group of selected items. So once I've set the criteria, maybe I want to mark just those guys up 10%, and I want them to have a different breaker name like CH for Cutler Hammer or something like that, I can do that kind of thing. Although with breakers, I still recommend keeping a recall name very generic. So when I click Save, it will perform all the selected functions on all the selected items in here. When it's done, you will get a screen message, and I can move on to another group of items. Another example of this would be on higher priced items in here. Like, for example, in this electrical price book, I might want to look at lamps and ballasts, more high priced items, and be able to kind of set markups by the costs of the items. So once I have the items displayed, you can actually sort your list by clicking on these description headers. But I'm going to click on cost to resort by cost, and then I can select different groups of items, and then by cost I can say everything up to $1 I want to have a markup of 100% or 90%, and then once I click Save, it will go through and do that and recalculate the prices. Then I could go on to the next group of items from $1 to $10, for example. I could say I want those items to have a slightly smaller markup. And you always want to click Save to actually perform those functions, obviously. But this is a way to get down to the item by item level to really get at those items for customizing. This ends the lesson on customizing your price book.